Hi, sir. This is Sid from Radio City 91.1 FM.
Hi, Sid.
Firstly, thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I am just living my fan moment right now, and this day can't get better anymore. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, my pleasure. Please go ahead.
So, firstly, a legend like A.R. Rahman has done production and the music composition, obviously, and written a script. This is the first time that something like this has happened in film industry. So, how is the experience, sir? We would want to know the whole thing that has changed till now.
The experience is like jumping into the sea. So we have to swim, otherwise you'll drown. So I wantedly decided I wanted to be very masochistic, and I wanted to do that in a way to see what the possibilities of also being very passionate and alive. Like unlike music, which the energy is 1x in Solna, because everybody takes care of everything. Director picture is beautiful, the writer writes beautiful poetry, and the producer does all the promotions. Here, everything is on my head. and I know that if I am messing up something, it means I'm letting down my whole team, the actors and the writer, the cinematographer, the art department, and the director, who's a new amazing find, I feel. Yeah. So that responsibility has made me work harder and change myself into a whole new person, teaching me new things.
So should we consider this as a new beginning, sir? I mean, going forward, do we see more of the scripts that Sir A.R. Rahman is writing and more productions that are coming in his YM movies in further days?
Yeah, it is a very infectious bug, because whatever, when you start making movies, there's a sense of catharsis, and you feel free, and you feel like, we can do the greatest movie, or, greatest scene or greatest experience in our own way. The vision, the life or the story, the world through our eyes or our vision. Because they're great filmmakers, and we love them. We can never be them, because their experience is different. Their life is different. Their gurus are different. Here, I've experienced a different life. I've traveled, and my own experience is in a way unique to mine. It'll be a different voice. It won't be, you can't compare it. It's like apples and oranges. So I started believing that, like, we can't be as good as them, but we can be as good as ourselves. So let's have our own voice in filmmaking.
So I happened to watch this trailer in a different way. Generally, people have seen this in YouTube, and for me, it was a different experience. I went to watch another movie, and before the movie could start, this trailer played, and I had literally had goosebumps watching this. And it's both eye feast and the ear feast for the people who are watching it. So the whole cast is new. I mean, the lead cast is debutant, and Vishwesh Krishnamurthy sir is debutant, and Sophia. Everybody's has started it new. Is it a conscious decision to take everybody in the new place, or take them as a debutants?
I think we were crazy. Like they say, no, the calf is more fearless than the cow. And post Oscars, I felt like every door was open for me. Like everybody was, embracing me with open arms. You can do anything. You can start a company, you can start a IPO. There's so many different suggestions came. That's like, maybe movie is the best. And through this, we can tell our stories better. And one thing I wanted to do was learn about everything. I didn't want to be a dumb, he's a good composer, but he doesn't know to write, he doesn't know. So I didn't want people to say that. Or to myself, I said, like, without knowing, how can you do things? So I took a course in script writing. I took a course, I attended master classes for filmmaking and this and that. So constantly looking at YouTube videos and masterclass and this, and speaking to great filmmakers. Since I'm an Academy member in Hollywood, I can go to any party. I can go to Spielberg's party or J.J. Abrams' party or Disney party, or met the writer of Game of Thrones in a yacht with Paul Allen. So Tarantino was also there on that. So I think when you meet all these people, they inspire you. And Shekhar Kapoor was there in 2004. I think that's how it started. 2004, we shared a apartment together, because he was working on one movie, Hollywood movie with Harvey Weinstein, and I was working on Bombay Dreams. At that time, I saw him how easy he was creating stories. He'll sit on a table and start narrating a story. I said, "Did you know the story before?" "No, I'll just do it now. It just came now." So that ease felt like, oh, so you don't have to be so too self-critical, and things can come out and you can develop it later. So he was so good, visionary. And I think it brushed off, meeting Mani Ratnam, Shekhar Kapoor, all these great people. Yeah.
Brilliant. So the trailer in between, it says "Kai Tatrudor Bodeda." This is how it goes. And when did for the first time, when did A.R. Rahman sir have this Bode? When did he experience it?
I think 96 or 90, I think 96 or 7 or 8, I don't know. Dubai I had a concert and there was a lot of trouble. I think the promoter didn't have money or something. And my management said, no, don't go and perform because he's not paid the money. But I was seeing 30,000 people there and I had fever also. I had 102 fever that time. And something told me, I know about money is fine. First time I'm seeing so many people out there and money is nothing for me. Like that love which they've come, with supporting me, I should not lose it. So I went on the stage, we performed, and then, Javed Jafri, I think was the compere at that time. Then he suddenly said, I was singing Mustafa, I closed my eyes and suddenly he said, open your eyes and see. So there were like 30,000 people with the lights. First time I've ever seen that image and I could see that oozing love. And that changed my life. I think that one thing, I said I should do more concerts. Before that, I used to think like I'll do one concert a year, it's fine. And I think that changed. That is a whole. At the same time, that if you do one mistake, people will throw you out.
True.
It is a double-edged sword.
So, sir, getting back to the 99 songs, in the end, the trailer, in the end, it goes like, ஒரு பாட்டுனா 100 பாட்டு பண்ணு, and then the title comes 99 songs. Why 99? Why not 100? I mean, I'm being a typical father who said, why not get that one mark? So why 99 songs instead of 100 songs?
That answer, you should see the movie.
Oh. You had a lot of influence of your sister in your real life. She has influenced your life a lot, and we get to hear a lot about that. So how much of that is shown in the movie? Is there anything similar to that is being shown in the movie that you don't know?
No, my sisters were actually a great company. I think that's one of the reasons why my character development in my was very, I was more grounded as a character because so much of love from my sisters. I was literally a loner, They were my only friends, whether it's Fatima, Ishrat or Rahana. And my only kid I used to play was G.V. Prakash when he was young. So, but there are no such character there. Actually, pretty interesting. You want to watch something interesting, you'll then tell me what it is.
Oh, yes, then we need to watch the movie to know what it is. Yet again. So, sir, you're an absolute perfectionist. It's not that it just happens just like that. And how much of time did you take to write the script, and how many attempts did you take to write something like 99 songs?
The basic story came in 10 minutes. In the flight, 2010 was a very testing year. I had an accident. I had to go back and perform in stage for the people who bought the tickets in Detroit. Stage collapsed. Thank God nobody died. So I was in kind of relief. I finished all that stuff. I was coming on the flight. And while coming, I said, like, this whole top of the Emirates flight coming. And then this idea came, like, what if a guy has to compose 100 songs with a girl? And then I was writing after that. The end, everything came. The middle, the end, everything came at that point. Then I took some classes, screenwriting classes. And the teacher actually said, why don't we use your story as case study and build on it? So what is the beginning, the middle, the end, and what is the character development, what he has to go, and all the stuff was decided. I was learning and or writing both together. Then I found Vishwesh and we again jammed on it. So it's not like literally putting things on the script. I was trying to jot down the most important scenes, and it was constantly evolving in my mind what this character should be, how it should happen, and all these things. Yeah.
Awesome. So since this movie is all about a music director, a passionate music director, and you yourself have been in that shoes from such a long time, how much of your real life is there in 99 songs? If we were to compare it on a scale of 1 to 10.
My real life is actually completely opposite.
Oh God.
My real life is such a blessing that after my mother led me into music, and there was no struggle at all, because after coming into music, it was only going high, 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 because she did the choosing profession for me. I was a bit upset that I didn't go to college and missed all that life. What will people think in a society? Oh, I'm not studied. Will they stigmatize me? And then I didn't care. After Roja, I think all the love came in. And I got like 6 doctorates now. I can't brood over things. So if life teaches you better. That's what I learned. Life and experience, like Confucius says, no, if you involve someone, if you teach them, they'll forget. But if you involve them, they'll learn. So when you involve in projects, when you involve with great minds like Mani Ratnam, Shekhar Kapoor, all those people, then you learn things which are very difficult. If you learn in a university, you learn that in 3 years. But with them, you can learn in 3 minutes. So a lot of things which I learned from them. Correct.
Awesome. Especially to talk about the character, Jay, who he has played an extremely well, and he has portrayed it so well that he has lived himself into the character. And there is a lot of chaos in the first part. It is all smooth and it's like a music, and the second part it goes like a Metallica. Everything is all about the chaos. So, how much of hard work did it go characterizing Jay and auditioning Ihan, but to put it on the
My main thing was engagement, and also there is a sense of when you see certain images, when you see certain actors, their screen presence is incredible, and they make you like, I want to look at this guy. I can look at a frame of him for like 30 seconds or 1 minute without blinking. So he had that face, and he had something very internal, which I later knew that he's loves philosophy, loves mysticism, poetry. And so after the movie, he sent me some text. If he has any doubts on stuff, he'll send it to me. What do you think? I said, you find out and tell me no. So even in the lockdown, he was very low. I said, patience is a virtue, man. Like if you're patient, things don't come off like a branch, fruit mari. You need to be patient. And I'm patient. Imagine I'm like heading this project, and I should be impatient because I feel a guilt that I've got all of you and I've not released the movie. So I think the time for this has come. The right time has come for this. I feel like this is the right time.
Definitely it is. And after a really, really long time, we get to see Manisha Koirala on screen, and it's a bliss. Absolutely, it's an absolute bliss. And you happen to work with her for Okkadu and all. And how is it working again? And how's the jamming again?
I'm usually very shy, when you see a picturization. I'm very shy to talk about actresses and actors, or I don't want to jinx the beauty of, when you talk too much, it becomes too much. And
sure.
So normally I just reserve myself, not talking when the movie releases or before. But I feel like when I was doing Bombay, I remember Mani sir called me. Like he said, this actress wants to see you. I said, which actress? Manisha Koirala is coming in, but she said the one condition, I'll act in your movie, I want to see A.R. Rahman. You have to make me meet him. So I remember in 94 meeting Manisha Koirala in the office of Alayam, and she met me. Then Manisha said, I need a song for a marriage. So we were trying to do a marriage song, and he didn't like it. I said, something is missing. And then he made us do this Kannalane. Kannalane. And I was thinking, it's too slow. Who will people sit? And, this care was there that time also, like engagement. Sure. And he said, no, I like it. And I want you to sing like a Qawwali kind of a thing. I sang that also. Then when he screened it, I think he screened it to me in Good Luck Theatre, GV's Good Luck Theatre that time. And I was blown away. I was like, oh my God. Somebody can, by their presence can change and makes this like so beautiful. And then that's what Manisha ji did, Her presence in that movie made the movie, it amplified everything, both Arvind Sami and Manisha Koirala. So that impact and that gratitude for her was always there for me, but I could never express it. So I felt like this movie, I need Manisha Koirala. I want her to be in my first movie. And in Lizere the same way, she was in Water, and both of them, with great respect, they're in my movie. And definitely I love them, and it's such a great honor to have them in my movie.
Definitely, it's a nice feast for us as well. And talking about those times when it was the time of cassettes, and then came CDs, and then came digital platforms, and now it is all about the YouTubes and records, the number of views that are there. So back in those days, people used to say the number of records that have been sold is considered to be the song hit. Itara cassette vittichi, and then they call it the song is super hit. Now they call it through the number of views that are coming in the digital platforms. Which is the best generation of time that you felt the audience are the best, and what is the best generation that you consider to be?
Well, as a musician, what I feel is, yeah, I like the view. Everything is fine because they see how the videos done, produced, and all the stuff. But my ultimate thing is how much musicality is there, how much soul is there, the marriage between lyrics and the tune, how much is it there, and how the sound is refreshing to hear. These are my milestones, which I look into, the music production and the music video. I know that people have different, and that result actually comes in music shows. Suddenly they take a song and come in. Only if it's good, the kids are going to pick that up. If it's just a produced song, they can't sing on. So I feel like when one of the songs come in, like in a Super Singer or Indian Idol, that is just a testament to say that the kids are finding it special and they have something to also put their own talent into it to show the prowess of music. Yeah.
Definitely, a lot more such records, such milestones to be achieved, and all the very best, sir. And it has already blown our minds. And thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity here.
Thank you so much for supporting and spreading our movies.
Thank you so much, sir.
Glory.